Like many of you, the 1983 Cricket World Cup win of India will always have a very special place in my memories and heart. I remember that last ball where Mohindra Amarnath LBW'd Andy Roberts and India won by 43 runs. The entire country erupted in joy, including me. How do you think that was possible? That an underdog team could beat the mighty Windies? I think what we saw being demonstrated was the resoluteness and commitment of the entire team, exemplified by the great leadership of Kapil Dev. Kapil Dev showed true leadership, which is leading by example. At 175, crucial innings against Zimbabwe, but at catch running backwards of the great Viv Richards in the final, he showed the path which the team members should follow. He led by example. That to me is the true form of leadership. That is self leadership, leading self. Yes, leadership is about leading teams, but how do you lead teams? You lead teams by having a positive impact on them, the right influence on the team. And that can come when the leader leads themselves. They show the example, the path, what he expects the team to take. That is the true form of leadership. Learn to lead yourself first. The rest is easy. Your team members will follow you if you set the right example on a consistent basis. That is self leadership. Now, it took me a very long time to realize this. I remember back in 1991, one day I was getting into office in the morning and I found my entire team not working, huddled in a corner, very agitated. I went up and inquired, okay, what happened? They immediately pounced on me. How could you change our seating places without consulting us? The context was the day before in the evening, after everybody had left, had interchanged the seating place of two people, very nearby though, out of eight, out of a total number of eight. But they said, no, I cannot do it. I have to apologize. No, I thought they were joking. I said, come on, don't joke with me. Get back to work. They got even more agitated. How can you talk to us like this? And then I even raised my voice. It became a real deadlock, heated arguments, and finally the branch manager had to intervene to sort that out. That was, in fact, my first leadership failure. And it continued. Over years, despite having the best of education qualification, I was not able to manage people. I built some of the very toxic relationships with people. And matters came to a head around 1997 when my boss asked me, okay, Ashish, this doesn't seem to be working out. What do you want to do? I've given you enough opportunities. I didn't know what to say except saying, I'm trying, I understand. And then he said, look, I'm going to send you to a management development program. After that, you need to change or The writing was on the wall. That program changed me. That is when I understood the real power of self leadership. I was mistakenly trying to lead people, direct them, show my authority without knowing how to lead myself. I was not being a self leader. Leadership is primarily about leading self, which I was not doing. Once I realized that, started studying more on that, and I came to a better understanding of what I should be doing. Over a period of time, I worked on it and, in fact, developed my own framework of self leadership. In a nutshell, the framework talks about three important areas. And let me talk about it briefly using the example of that 1991 seating place change episode. First, on that day, I should have listened to them and made an attempt to address the concern rather than arguing or trying to defend myself. In effect, I failed to communicate. Now, I was well within my rights to change places. But then I missed a very crucial factor, which is the feelings, emotions of people attached, the sentiments. I should have preempted that and, in fact, tried to work with them to get their buy-in before making the change, though legally I was right. In effect, I failed to build the right relationships and trust with my team. And third, I should have understood that life is uncertain. I should not take things for granted. I should have had the maturity to understand that things can go wrong and be better prepared. Okay, this can happen. So, how should I handle it? I lacked maturity. That is my framework. CRM, communication, relationship, and maturity. In effect, it is about being able to communicate clearly, at the same time, you're open to listen to others and collaborate, demonstrate situation appropriate behavior according to the situation and people, consistently work towards helping people, helping in terms of long term growth or solving problems, being a team player, meeting the expectations of people, and being always prepared and be a continuous learner. That is CRM. Once I understood that, there was no stopping me. Now you might be wondering, why am I talking about self leadership? What is the connection with organization growth? Everything. You see, in organizations, especially IT where I work, there are multiple problems, and problems never go away. One will go away for the other because we're dealing with different market parameters over which we have no control. Economic situation, the market situation, talent retention. In IT, the flow of demand is not predictable. How do you plan your resources? There's so many issues in terms of client satisfaction, employee satisfaction, how you get the best profitability out of your projects, where clients are not willing to increase prices, but the cost is going up. There are so many problems, and they're always with you. One will go, another will come. Therefore, true organization growth can happen when an organization can effectively navigate these challenges that come their way. And to do that, you need very strong, well well-oiled team who can collaborate and work together. I've seen brilliant minds. I've seen systems, processes in place, but they cannot work together. They cannot implement, they cannot execute. What is the use of having brilliance or having the right processes if you cannot work together and collaborate? The 1982 Cricket World Cup team showed us that an underdog team, if it is committed, led by a leader who is inspiring others, you can achieve wonders. And how you do that, it is through self-leadership. Imagine you have the processes, you have good minds. But what about the ego, the emotion, the interpersonal issues? There are competing interests. Resources are scarce. There's unpredictability of demand. Pricing is under pressure, so everybody has to work together. There's bound to be a lot of egos, tensions. And each person has their own unique thoughts. There are times when employees have to be pressurized to work more. But HR may come and raise objection and say you can't do that. But you can't get short-term resources. Getting talent is also an issue. Good talent for that matter. So each person has to understand each other. And obviously everybody has competing interests. HR wants good employee satisfaction. As delivery is looking for more of customer satisfaction. You need to balance and work together. HR wants to spend more in terms of doing employee well-being, where accounts may be more concerned with the budget. There are so many competing interests, so many issues and conflicts, tensions. Emotion will run high because you're always working with pressure. Will your brilliant mind help? Will brilliant processes help? Or the right self-leadership skills help? The answer is obvious, is it not? Now you might think I'm talking about building a culture. Yes, I am. You need a culture where people become great self-leaders. That's how engagement goes up. And we know when engagement goes up, productivity and profitability also goes up. But it's easier said than done. Culture is always evolving. New people are coming in. There's now the gig workforce. The duration people are spending in a particular company is going down. So many market conditions. So culture is also evolving. And there, your self-leadership skills of the leader become more critical. How you can show the right skills to get your team to work with you to manage and navigate the problems. How you talk, communicate, build trust within each other to at least solve the problems. And if you keep doing that on a continuous basis, what you get is in fact culture. Clients put a lot of pressure. You need to know how to manage the client. You need to know how to set the right expectations. I may be great technically, but I cannot communicate in a respectful manner. I'm not able to understand the client. Client will have escalations. How do I manage them effectively? How I make the employees understand? How I make my team members understand? So, like the Indian cricket team, if you show the way on a consistent basis by forming self-leadership, others will at least be with you in terms of working and navigating the problems. And in the long run, that becomes the culture. Learn to lead yourself. The rest is easy. Thank you.